He got the deal under contract like maybe 2 weeks ago. And they're going to close on the 1st of January. It took him literally 30 days to close $1 million deal. 30 days. That's it. Right? It's awesome. That's awesome, isn't it? Okay. Now let's just say you have no money or you have very little. You're like, I can only come up with like $50,000. That's it. Or I can come up with $40,000. Let's say 50,000. Okay. So let's just say you can only come up with 50K. Right? So now it's a whole different deal because you can't you're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to figure out what you can buy for 50,000. So you kind of reverse engineer it. Right? So now what can you do with 50 grand? Right? So now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go out to tertiary markets, right? Because you can't buy huge, big deals with this. All right, so 50 grand is not going to get you a big deal. Like 375 is different. Sue can go out, probably she can leverage that money. She can partner. She can go into like probably secondary, definitely secondary markets, but even some primary markets too as well, because you could partner with somebody else that brings 300 grand to the table. Then you got 600 grand down. Okay, but here it's a little bit different because when you have $50,000 that you can work with, right? Now, remember, I don't put any money into my deals. All right, I just borrow from everybody else, but we'll get into that in a minute. So 50,000, right? So now you can buy 20% down. What can you buy? Is that 300 grand? What's 20%? Is that 200 grand? Somebody tell me, because I'm like horrible at math. I think 20% of 300 is 60,000, right? Let's just put 300. So you could buy a $300,000 deal, okay? If you just like leverage, if you go to a bank. Now a $300,000 deal is going to be in a small town, ranging probably, I'm guessing 20,000 or less, but most likely 10,000 or less population, right? Now it may be a tertiary city on the outskirts of a secondary market. Does that make sense? A tertiary city on the outskirts of a secondary market, right? Okay. Can you think of any towns in your area that are tertiary cities, but they outlie on a secondary market? They're like, somewhere like right here or something like that, So if you had a couple $100,000, you would be in tertiary markets, like anywhere in Georgia outside of Atlanta and outside of like maybe the bigger small areas like Augustus or Columbus. Most likely anywhere in Georgia, you can buy $300,000 facilities. All right, so Georgia's very easy to find $300,000 facilities. Anywhere in the Southeast, you can totally do this. Anywhere in the Great Plains, once you got to, Northeast, you can't do this. Nor in the West Coast, you can't do this. So you'd have to go even further out, right? I always tell like my students that live in California, it's like, if you only got 50 grand, the second thing that you need to do is you need to be partnering. You need to be partnering, okay? So you have to go out and you have to find somebody that has money. All right. I have a student right now that's buying a $1.5 million facility. He's got no money. No money. I think he's bringing like 20K to the table. That's it. How do you buy a $1.5 million facility with only $20,000? How do you buy a $1.5 million facility with only $20,000? You partner with somebody that has money. So you got to get out there and you got to look for money. Who has money? Sue has money. Maybe she'll partner with you. You be the boots on the ground person. You do all the work. She puts the money in. She does nothing. And you split the difference 50-50. All right. That's how you buy a $1.5 million facility with only $20,000. So what he did is he went out and found somebody that had 400 grand. He's creating a company with that person, borrowing the money from that person. The company's borrowing the money and they're splitting it. They're splitting the difference. All right. So in our group, what happens is somebody will bring a deal to the table, say, look, I found a deal. I can only provide this much money to the deal. I need somebody to provide this much money so that we can go and get a loan for the 80%. So you partner to get the 20% and you borrow from a bank to get the 80%. Okay, you borrow from the bank to get the 80%. The company's borrowing from the bank to get the 80%. And then this person is finding a partner to bring that money. He's going to be the boots on the ground. He's going to manage the facilities. This is the first facility, 300 units. Never owned a facility at all. First facility, 300 units. He's buying it for $1.5 million. It's a mismanaged facility that is only like less than 50% full. He's going to double the value of that facility in 2 years. It's going to be worth over $3 million. And this partner is going to split that with them in an equity split. And all the partner had to do was bring the money to the table. All right. So that's another deal that we're doing in our group right now. Okay. Finally, if you have $50,000, that's it. You only got $50,000. All right. You got to be creative. Right? You got to be creative. This one right here, you have to, I didn't put down, you got to go to a local bank. You go to a local bank, you borrow the money, you put the $50,000 down and the bank loans you the rest. It's the 80-20 rule, right? So you go to a local bank or you go to SBA or whatever you want to go to get the money. It's a typical deal. You partner or you do creative structuring. Right? Creative structuring. Right? Which is what I do. This is where the seller finances the deal. You get the seller to finance the deal. Right? And they'll finance up to 100%, but sometimes you have to put, some money down. You've got 20%. You've got enough money to get the seller to finance it for you. So now you just have to convince the seller to finance it to you. I mean, they own it free and clear. All the facilities that you're going to be buying, 99% of them are all free and clear. All right. So when you have no money, this is when you have also no money as well too. All right. If you have no money, you can do this deal. So if you have no money, so everybody's always asking me. I do free strategy sessions. Right? I have 5 that are available. So that's why I'm doing the webinar. If you're interested in joining the mastermind, if you need a strategy session, then you'll just go to storagenerds.com and set up a time with me. I have 5 for tomorrow available. I'm not available for the rest of the week. And so I wanted to see if anybody wanted to talk to me about the program, about Storage Nerds, and then also get a strategy session from me. So I have 5. If you go to Storage Nerds, there's 5 available for tomorrow.